good morning, and good afternoon to some people wherever you are in this world. It's Beachy, and I am live, and I'm coming with some real news. Okay, although pretty much everything that comes from me is it's real. You don't get much more authentic than this. But some of us are waking up, y'all. We are waking up right now to this massive government shutdown. Okay, I'm making sure I go ahead and get my commentary out on just what I'm able to gather. Summed up, we're only like 7 hours into it, but it's looking bad. Like, this is looking real bad. Okay, this is the type of bad I'm talking about will make somebody need to go out and get baptized today. Find you some. You want some water? Find a lake. A Church of Christ will let you come on in. Y'all better start making some phone calls. This the kind of bad that have you going back to the book. This shutdown is super massive. Okay, all over a dispute, but nothing is by chance. Nothing is just a coincidence. Nothing is, you know, it happened that way. This is just how it's going to be. But some folks still don't have a clue what's going on. Number one, they haven't woken up. This happened in the wee hours of the night. What type of shutdown happened at 11 o'clock at night? I don't know. But unless you were just up and in the midst of it, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But I'm going to give you a little quick rundown. Okay, we are in the seventh hour, okay, of this massive government shutdown. And I'm talking about, from what I can see, that's being reported, there's 4 million people that are not going to work today or either going to work today without any pay. Okay. 4 million, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of jobs and positions that do some work that is needed for the citizens of the United States. Like 4 million, not 4,000, not 400. Hold on now. Well, what's going on here? 4 million. Okay. And that job, nobody didn't, there only a few essential jobs did not get hit. Now, if you want to know what started this argument, I'm gonna tell you real quick. They got the Republicans and the Democrats, right? They were making a bill. And in this bill, the Republicans were wanting to limit health care. Like, let's take some stuff back from the healthcare. Let's undo some of this Biden stuff. Let's undo this Obamacare. Let's limit. Let's put more restrictions on Medicaid. Put higher fees on basic insurance, etc. They also wanted to then come back and redo the EBT form, but the Democrats opposed this bill. So somehow, between them not being able to come up to a decision, it got so bad there was a walkout leading to a shutdown. And now 4 million people are without a job. Well, they have their job, they're not getting paid. So, depending on what you work, what you do, I mean, you may get up and go to work today and say, I'm going to go, or you may be like, I can't not go. My job is extensive. So the jobs are on hold, no pay. And I'm going to tell you what some of these jobs are. Just a couple. Well, I can just sum it up. For one, I happen to notice that was pretty serious that the air traffic controllers got hit. Hold on. I'm like, wait a second now. So the air traffic controllers their jobs got shut down. Is that not a pretty serious form of employment? We all know what air traffic controllers do. They are governing the skies. They are looking for things coming in. Shout out to my son himself, who works for the United States Air Force. I'm trying to get in touch with him. I don't think he's been affected, but he's leaning towards that area in his field. But they're not getting paid. I'm gonna be soon as I get a response for him, I'm gonna find out. Hey, what's going on over there? But air traffic controllers had just I don't even know how you could shut a job down like that. So who's up there watching the planes? Let me tell you, if any crashes start happening, it's gonna be mayhem because this is part of what air traffic controlling does. Okay, and amongst many other things that I'm just not going into details. You want to find Google what entails in an air traffic controller. So they were on the list. That's why I said some serious people got hit. So we got air traffic controllers, basically the general government jobs. The government is just shut down, and only the essential government jobs are still getting paid. And who decides who's essential? From what I can tell, I looked at the pay. It looked like some folks who were making 174,000 more per year kept their jobs, but they didn't want to go into details about whose job it was. So the higher up pay you were, you're good. All the basic workers, they just canceled y'all like y'all don't do nothing, which we know you do everything. So I'm just trying to figure out who over there with your $200,000 salary gonna watch these planes. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something that you don't want to hear, but you're about to hear it from Beachy. I'm reading this article being the scholastic woman that I am because I need details. I want to see how this is gonna really affect even all the way down to my household, to my street, my neighborhood, to my community. And in the last paragraph, they squeeze in, oh, by the way, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, is also affected. Wait, what? After they went into all of this, okay, in the very last paragraph, they're going to try to slide in just like two or three little sentences. Oh, by the way, the FDA is gonna be running amok. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute, bro. Wait. So if somebody was not worried about their insurance, if somebody wasn't worried about some other type of government job, I mean, we talking about roads, skies, you name it. The government run this ish. You know that. It doesn't matter whether you like them or not. They got the keys. They are the gatekeepers. But then you're going to sit here and throw in at the last paragraph. That's why you really got to read and don't miss a line. You can't skip a beat. You're going to put there at the very bottom in just the smallest type of font. Oh, by the way, the FDA is included in this. Um, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not I'm not trying to go back to that time when people was finding, rat feces in their peanut butter, okay? Getting sick, consumption, like all type of every disease and illness you could think of because nobody's regulating food. Warehouses just running them up, all this type of stuff. But that's exactly what's going to happen because the FDA shut down. The only part of the FDA they left to be regulated was medication. And that's for now. Because the first thing I said was, don't the FDA also regulate our medicines and what we're taking and making sure that we're taking the right dosage, it's appropriate, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and the effects of it and all that? We're not scientists and alchemists. We've lost that talent of being able to produce our own medicine and know how to do those things. We've lost that natural art. So, yes, we do depend on CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and whoever else can push out a prescription, okay? And it's done its due diligence, but that's all we can hold on to for now. But the food, no one, and beverages, no one's right now, that job is just not there. I mean, it's there, but no one's doing it. I mean, who's going to just go to work and say, I'm not getting paid, I'm not guaranteed any back pay, but I'm going to show up. Some people are waking up today. Probably the doors are going to be locked. And anything that can be done from home, well, you can't inspect food from the house. Those people have to get out there in the field and go into places. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to ordering anything. I just thought, sidebar, I will not be ordering any DoorDashes, any food from anybody. If I can't at least prepare it myself, we know at least what's out here now. It might be decent. I'm not trying to put a sense in a panic or anything in there. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not ordering nothing that's coming in on a daily because the folks not getting paid. I don't know what's going on. And that's the last thing I'm trying to be is having food poisoning or worse. Worse things come other than just your basic food poisoning. But how you just gonna just think it's okay that they gotta eat too? Even the wealthy gotta have food too. So I'm just trying to figure out, did you all think your shelves were beyond the letting FDA not be governed? Did you not think this is going to trickle up some type of way? Y'all can't have that much food stored up. I don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, you guys, it just happened just a few hours ago. But for me, um, it kind of hit real close to home. Not that other things don't, but this hit super close for several reasons. Not just worldly reasons, but spiritual reasons too. This hit super close. And a lot of people want to like to just keep scrolling past the news and try to put blindfolds on. You're not going to be able to blindfold this. There are jobs, right? I guess I don't know if the schools are open. I don't know. Well, some are going to be open for whatever reasons, but don't think you're not going to feel it. We all eat. That's one thing we all got in common. Well, everybody eat. Okay, some people may not go to the doctor. Some folks may say, "Well, I do govern my own health." And some people may just act like they live in a world. I hear y'all all the time, y'all. The conscious community. You think you live in a world where you are anti-government when you find out they got a stock in YouTube or something crazy like that, and you can't go live, then you're gonna feel some type of way. Okay, heck, they got a hand in it in social media, censorship, all these other type of things that go on. So don't get too comfy thinking you're not affected. I grow my own food. Well, winter is a coming. Winter is on the horizon. This isn't a harvest season at all. Matter of fact, the only harvest season I see is going on is coming from the heavens. And that's a little bit of a separation, but I'm going to say that before I exit up out of here and go ahead and give you that good scripture from Matthew 3:12. I might top it off with a little Revelation 6:5 with that black horseman, but I don't want people to send. I don't want to give y'all too much. I'm not trying to put the fear in you. I'm trying to get you to see. You might want to start paying attention because everybody's affected as of 7 hours and 27 minutes ago. Everybody is affected. Okay, you need food. I like food. I need food. Okay, I haven't seen anybody, unless manna is about to start coming from the heavens for some of us, and that will only be a certain few. Food is something that is affected, but I don't live in fear, and I also don't go by you all's rules for the basic general population. So I stand on their word. As it's written, my people will eat the good of the land, says the Almighty. So I'm not worried about if I am going to eat, but it does deeply concern me, the quality of food, the scarcity, people around me, everything affects everybody. And I hope the shutdown ends, before things get real nasty. All right. I think the longest one we had might have been, I don't know. I want to say it was pre-COVID. It had to be like 2018, somewhere in there. And that shutdown lasted over a month. Okay. Over a month. Not long after that, next thing you know, we got a pandemic coming in. Shortly, not long after that last shutdown. So, like I said, it is a serious thing. That's 4 million people that are operating a system that we have all been, whether you like it or not, indoctrinated to operate in. I don't see people out here, many people with horse and buggies, okay? I don't see that many people not operating with electricity and just certain jobs that the government has its hand in. I don't see that. People are getting Social Security in checks. Someone is running the Social Security. Somebody is working in the Social Security office. Okay? Now, today the first, you better stretch your check out. Everybody who got paid or got some type of resource, you better stretch it out. Surely I hope your direct deposit hit. I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't know how the first payments work. Probably direct deposit probably goes in at midnight or something. I'm not sure how that works, but I hope you all did. No, there was nobody there to stop the check, so payment would have been issued as normal. But we still got the 5th coming up, the 15th. There are different days throughout the month that the government releases funds. Okay. So I'm just here to just let you know this just happened. Okay, we are still in the set. We haven't even come into the eighth hour. I woke up and looked on my phone. Well, my daughter actually came and said, "Mama, well, wait, what? We be on it." See, somebody got to look. Somebody has to watch. Can we give a shout out to our youth and those that are our watchmen who stay on watch for important matters, whether it's up in the heavens, whether it's outer space, okay, whether it's right here within eyesight, they are watching, okay? I grabbed my phone so quick and went to my computer and immediately began to pull up what I could. And it didn't look so good. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they be doing that. They shut down for a couple hours and they be back on. No, this happened in the middle of the night, and I don't know how explosive that argument got. It had to be pretty explosive between the Republicans and Democrats to the point that they could not vote. Hey, Malik, right? They could not vote on the health care. Y'all mean to tell, is it that serious? I mean, from what the argument, I'm thinking there must have really been something had to be on a table that was super like life changing, world changing, apocalyptic. I'm just guessing, but you got to keep reading, you got to keep digging because this is fresh news. So you got to like really search, right? So we're both searching, and that's all that I got was them making the bill that limited health care. They couldn't come up with a decision. Republicans want to take back from it, scale it down massively, including Medicaid, other insurance, government programs, etc. And also, then instead eventually leading into the shutdown and deacceleration of EBT. That was at the end of the bill. So that bill right there, whatever that bill is called, okay, Republicans said, let's run it. The Democrats said, we're not doing that. And it got that explosive. They just then walked out and shut down the whole government. I mean, that 4 million people, that's a lot of folks running a type of job, okay, that they got the rest of us getting whatever it is that we need so that we can function in an organized society. Nobody wants to function in chaos, Malik. Well, that's not how we operate. I don't care what you say, what you stand on. You like going into the store like I do, going to the shelf that you want to, and getting what you want to buy. We we like it. This is what we know. No one limits us to the amount of toilet paper we can buy. Nobody tells us you've capped off on all the water you can get. We don't live like that. We don't have to go to the well and go pull up stuff. We can run a shower for however we long to. We have unlimited resources. I don't know how this is going to trickle down. It just happened. Right, baddies? It's like, wait a second now. And so, okay, so y'all shut down. 4 million people going to work today. Doors going to be locked, or they not going to. I don't know what y'all would go to work or not. I guess it depends on what type of job you have. If you have a job that maybe somebody's lifeline depends on it, you might be conflicted. Like if you don't go, they, like let's say you have a government job. Like I was at the doctor yesterday doing a follow up, and this girl was calling in trying to get some type of oxygen something for one of her patients, and I could tell she was going through the procedure because she could say, hey, I'm calling on trying to get an order in for this oxygen something, maybe I don't know if it's an oxygen tank, oxygen machine for a patient. And she had to make a couple calls, and it has to go through a little chain. People put the they'll put the order in, then they'll put the insurance information in. Somebody pushes that through. Well, guess what? Those are government jobs in our healthcare. Now, the first thing I said was, let somebody not get their oxygen tank. See, that's what I'm saying. It'd be the simplest things from something that you didn't realize. Yeah, you can go out and just buy a wheelchair, but some people also push that through insurance. I remember when my mom had her stroke, we pushed her wheelchair through her insurance. Yes, it lowered the fee, but I mean, come on, why would you not do that? Yes, you can go out and spend $400-$500 on one, or you can push it through the insurance and pay $25 for it. So unless you just don't have the patience, 2 or 3 days to wait, sometimes a couple hours, you can go ahead and get your wheelchair. So yes, it does matter, and it does become life-threatening when it comes, especially with the kids and the babies. Okay. I remember that breathing nebulizer. Nebulizer is a government issued breathing machine that comes through Medicaid. Who working at that office? Let somebody they can't. You won't be getting your nebulizer this week. Not until the government open back up. You won't Baddies Club. They're not getting a nebulizer. Thank you. Like, and that baby got asthma, inhalers. Y'all, this can run so far. You start thinking about all the things that push through, insurance push through. You just can't walk up in Walgreens and say, "Let me get the an inhaler, oxygen machine, and add on to that high blood pressure medication for my great on." You just can't go in there and shop like that. This stuff is regulated by the FDA, as it should be. I mean, so they be pushing a little bit to me with some of the code stuff, but we do got the people out there, trying to manufacture meth and do extra stuff. The rest of us got to show our ID just to get some cold medication. I'm just saying sidebar. But that being said, we coming up on a season where it's about to be cold and flu. Medications need to be put through. Ain't nobody working. Let me hurry real quick and see if I can get my prescription called in. I mean, the pharmacies, the fact that the FDA just shut down, the only part of the FDA that is working and operable as of today is the drug side. Okay, the medication and drug side. That's the only part that's still working for now. Yeah. I better hurry up real quick. Okay, and then how long is that supposed to last? I really feel nervous about this. How long is that gonna last before they decide? You know what? We not. They don't got to come to work either. Y'all not governing the food. Do you know what? Do y'all know what kind of doors that open? No one is working. No one's governing factories that put out massive quantities of things that we partake in. I don't care how healthy you think you're eating. 99.9% and a third of us are not waking up kneading dough every day, baking bread from the wheat we done went out back in our fields and pulled in chapters. We're not doing that. Stop with the cap for everybody over there in the country's gonna be talking about. Well, see, we had a little baby. It is not tomato season. You can't freeze tomatoes. You better start canning real quick. And the FDA regulates the cans of you canning foods. Who you think regulate that? You haven't made your own cans. See, this is what I'm saying. It's going to get real interesting, because no matter how far out of the system, the matrix, the government that you try to get, you still need the utensils that they issue out. You can't make your own cans. So if you're canning your food, waiting for the apocalypse, you got to purchase the cans through a warehouse. And guess what? Someone has to govern that metal. Someone has to govern that metal has not sat and rusted and got infested, that it's actually acceptable. It's no escape. Canned food might be the worst, but canned food is how some people are trying to you can can your own food. You can jar your own food, but guess what? Who runs a massive amount of jars? And people, it says mason jar for a reason. You can't escape the masons. I don't care if you like them or not. You can't go 5 feet to the stop sign without passing 3 Freemasons. So good luck trying to get some mason jars. All the mason jars going to be off the shelf, okay? What's up, Frida Green? That's 4 million people. Like I said, it didn't say 4,000, 400, 400,000, 4 million. Maybe I misread that, right? Wait, 4 million jobs on hold? They're not paying 4 million people with no promise of an end date. And then you do it in the middle of the night. How long were y'all in session for? And y'all are that angry, y'all couldn't decide. So that makes me, going back to the reason for the argument, if it's that bad, the Republicans must have really wanted to take it too far on cutting back on insurance. That the Democrats said, now yeah, that's too much. That is excessively too much for them to just not even keep going. Put it at a shutdown, because still nobody wins. Everybody still loses, but I wonder how far back were they trying to go? How I really want to get a look at that bill. I know that's something that hasn't been provided as of yet, but I want to look at, wait a second, how much were you trying to take from the people? How much? I'm just curious. But it got pretty bad, y'all. A major walkout, and so they just shut it all down. You know what? We can, that's pretty, but we can't decide. Shut it all down. Just shut. Like that's not that ain't the answer. Okay, that's maybe that's okay for y'all because y'all still getting paid. All of them still getting a paycheck. And it's not just about the paycheck, it's about the resources too. So you gotta keep in mind what is it's bigger than just somebody's income. Yes, your income is important, that's their livelihood. But it's like how it expands on out. Well, who's running these systems? Who's operating at those computers? Who's pushing through the resource? Who's pushing the resources through? Who's in there watching okay, go ahead and go on up in the Arby's today, and whatever score on their wall gonna be the last. No, who's watching to make sure that that score actually is a 96 and above up in Church's Chicken? Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but you go in the Subway and stop seeing a number over there, you're gonna feel a type of way. Cause I'll be looking up there at folks' numbers. You're gonna feel a way when there's nobody governing. As of now, there isn't anybody governing. There is nobody you can call and say, I just went in the Subway and they got rats in there. Can somebody go in there and do an inspection or whatever? Good luck. No one's picking up. No one's there. Okay, I most certainly am not about to chance it. There's always on one side you got the good people who are like, oh my gosh, this is awful. But then you got the other side who's going to take advantage of it, and they're going to capitalize. They're going to make it worse. Well, ain't nobody watching. Go ahead and serve that meat out. I know it's expired. I don't care. Who's checking expiration dates? Who's making sure that's really the expiration date before I go put this this roast in the oven? Who's watching the meat? Is this really meat? What are we eating? Now, see, we all finna be eating something straight. See, now I'm feeling away and all type of thoughts. Like I said, this just happened, you guys. We have not even come into the 8th hour of the shutdown. And my head hasn't processed the fact that I really was going to get groceries within the next couple days. And if it's not already been there, I'm going to look for the oldest date, not the newest. Because, well, people can go in and change stickers and dates and do anything right now, y'all. There's nobody on the job and nobody you can tell. There's no food police. We don't got no food police. You know, the police officers, ain't that a government job? Is law enforcement still working? Oh, my gosh. Somebody come get my hand. Freddie Green, come on, my hand. Hold a minute. Who working the law right now? Who is working the law? Yes. I'll come back with a link. I can hit a string yard if y'all want me to. Who working the law? Is anybody? 911, that's a government job. Emergency services, that's a state and government job. Those are government. Oh my gosh. Y'all, today ain't the day to die. Have a heart attack, have a seizure, a stroke. This is not, this week, you want to be on your best, prayed up, okay? Stay up and pray up, okay? Because you don't want anything to happen. Nobody's at work. Nobody's coming. We don't need no fires. See, those are the type of people that are heroes, and we believe and expect they're going to come through anyway, because those are the type of jobs where those people we want to believe they have the heart to say, man, we're not getting paid. I'm working 12 hours on, 12 hours off for the next 7 days, and I'm getting no check. I'm not, if that phone ring, I'm not getting in their truck. See, we want to believe in our heart that our workers like that are considered essential workers, and they're, y'all not talking about them right. Like, you need to get some specifics. But when they said it job also includes such positions as air traffic controllers, I mean, how much more serious can you get than governing the sky? Well, if y'all ain't paying the air traffic controller, I doubt you really worried about what's going down on the ground that much. You don't care about the skies. I want you know, I'm telling y'all right now, Don't start acting a fool and going mayhem because thinking people not going to show up. This is how folks start just taking matters into their own hand. I think you should sit back and watch. Um, don't be a part of the problem. I don't know how you could be a part of the solution. I guess anybody out here, this affecting the livestock too. Y'all keep in mind, it just ain't the Food and Drug Administration not just affecting the food that's already out here. It said it included livestock. Yes, I read the word livestock. So that means the living animals. As of right now, ain't nobody watching them. I bet there's people out here right now, they probably already doing God knows what. People have bad intentions, you all. They just have bad intentions. I can't, I'm just, these are random things that are coming off the top of my head when I think about what people have done in the past to livestock. I'm not trying to get hit with no mad cow's disease, okay? I'm not trying to do that. I don't even want, I've lost my entire appetite. I lost my entire appetite. So anything as of right now that people are doing up until this shutdown ends, they got free reign. They got free reign to do all the hell they want to do. All the demons and all the devils right now are just running rampant, doing God knows what. I mean, it's something to think about, huh? And the only thing we got is a little, the medication ain't is still policed as of now. How long is that gonna last? How long is that gonna last? Nobody wants to go out by, death of an Advil. Like that's terrible. What about deodorant? Like I'm thinking about everything. The FDA watches your makeup, cosmetics, deodorant, your soap you use, making sure it has the right stuff in it that you're bathing with. Ain't nobody trying to walk around here scratching the itchy because someone did not follow the protocol in producing and making our soap. Now, see, some of y'all, let me see you make your own soap. We gonna have the people over there in the conscious come in and take this article and try to act like they're all good and safe and they're not affected. We're just gonna assume they don't bathe and they don't brush their teeth because toothpaste too. I don't want to hear anything about, well, we use sea moss. Well, you know what? When you don't even know if that's sea moss. Stop it. And it ain't that much sea moss out there. Like you can't use sea moss for everything. That's not the answer to everything. If it was, then we'd all be fine. It don't work for everything. So yeah, I'm glad I went. You know what? I'm starting to get real suspicious of some stuff now because when I went to the store Monday and I bought just 4 items, it happened to be 3 of the 4 items I bought were the last one on the shelf, and I was like, oh, thank God I got the last one on the shelf. But I still felt some type of way about that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Every now and then it'll be one thing I'll get like, oh, this is the last one. But rarely has it been 3 back to back. How did I get the last double box or box of this type of Crest toothpaste? How did I get the last bottle of mouthwash, the preferable one? And how did I get the last, what was that third? Lotion. It was a body lotion. Like the odds of that. And then it was 3. That may have been nothing. It might have just been a coincidence, or this could have been just in case. Let's hold back and let's see. And of course, it would be in our community. I'm pretty sure if I had went on the other side of town, they probably stocked up of plenty of stuff. But you know how we the last, we get the last. But shout out to us who still try to rep our communities and stay in our communities and don't deviate from our communities because we do actually love our people. You guys, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna get off of here because I want to try to follow hour by hour what's going on. But I mean, a shutdown is a shutdown. They're not in there arguing anymore. They're going. Malik wants me to do a StreamYard. If somebody else asks, I will do a StreamYard. But somebody needs to be going live talking about this. It don't have to happen over here. I'm fine. I'm coming over there to you guys. We need to probably prepare ourselves mentally and spiritually, okay? Mentally and spiritually. There needs to be some type of preparation. Because I don't, it has, some people have no idea. Like I said, we're just waking up. I was waking up at a little bit after 5. And this happened, I think GMT time would have been 11:52, so it would have been like 12:52 a.m. my time. I was dead asleep. I was wrapped up in my blankie, knocked out, dreaming of some weird stuff from high school, okay? And I woke up like everybody else to 4 million government jobs on hold. Government done shut down. I mean, we have no resolution. Can people use their stuff right now? I did read where they said, as for now, the EBTs for people that use those resources, they're still working and available. Well, is Medicaid still open? Hmm? And how do we know that? It wasn't but too long ago in August, they shut the EBT system down for 2 days. Here down in Alabama and Georgia, people couldn't even use their cars, none on the front, and didn't give them no warning. People were leaving their buggies in the store. That's the first time I ever saw a mother and walk out with her kids crying. They didn't understand why they couldn't get their snacks, because when you are a mom and you got your kids in the store and you want them to act right, one of the first go-to is, you do you want your fruit gummies? Then you gotta act right. No, don't touch anything. Do you want your treats? That's one of your go-to things in the store, is to bribe your kid with food. So imagine getting to a register, and this was the week school started, and I said, this is so you guys aren't even trying to hide your wickedness. There's no way, by the odds of the week of school starting, second day of school, you shut down entire EBT statewide when no one's cards are working. Come on, who you think you fooling? And this was every store, not just Winn-Dixie, not just Walmart, not just Kroger, not just Food Depot, every store. So you went to the next store, it's still not gonna work. Got these people looking crazy. And that's the first time, like I said, I saw a mother and have to walk out of the store with 3 kids. And that little boy was crying, and I knew why he was crying. Because he didn't understand why we're leaving. I was good. I didn't get my treat. And all I could think of when I was at my car, I was watching, and I actually prayed. I said a prayer like, Lord, have mercy on these people. That is so wicked. That is so cold to shut something down like that. It doesn't matter what your reasoning is. You're lying. You did not have to do no routine checkup. Stop with the stop cat lies. Cap. You didn't have to do no routine checkup. You all wanted to try and see what would happen if you shut it down for 2 days. What results would happen. See, they've been doing tests and trial runs on us for quite some time. Okay? They've been running trials on, let's see what the folks gonna do. We just shut it down. Well, they left their buggies there. There was a kid crying, and I saw the look of absolute defeat on some mothers' faces. That's one of those times when I looked at, oh my gosh, this woman I know has done everything she could to get her kids ready for school, to try to prepare for a year. The only guarantee that she had was that I can at least feed them and go in here, get the food that I need. I don't have to worry about that. Only to go in the store, put food in her buggy, get to the register, and swipe, and it doesn't work. And they didn't even tell the people until about, it should have been somebody standing at the door saying, if you're coming in with EBT, it doesn't work. The random announcements over the intercom that nobody's listening to was not helping. It's like, y'all can't figure out a better way than doing this. This is, degrading. So yeah, that was just in August, you guys. We're just in October. And that was at the beginning of August. So here we coming into October 1st, whole government done shut down on everybody. I can't even think of all the jobs that this entails. Like I said, the only jobs that I saw that said remain were what they considered essential employees. But it said also they range with a salary of $174,000 and above. And I don't know, but I don't think firemen make that much money. I don't think they paying state patrols $174,000. So I'm like, that's interesting. So you capped off by pay grade. Well, that pretty much leaves all the folk we need not coming to work. We don't need y'all. We don't even know what y'all do. They didn't even have a position by their name. They just have their salary. Okay, so 200 grand people. They didn't even round up to 200. Well, why stop at 174,000? Now I'm gonna have to go pull up the government pay grade myself and figure out which jobs fall into the bracket of $174,000 and above. And I know Yum Yum in which who's under that. That's how you can only get down to. But Yum Yum, well, that's about everybody. Ain't who working for the government? Yeah, you got to stay. Well, should be a stable job and some good benefits, but they're not coming out with no $174,000 salary. It's just not the type of job. So the ones who have that sounds to me like congressional people. Are y'all trying to say without saying, well, we let Congress keep their jobs and paychecks, but the rest of y'all, good luck, best of luck to you? Since the Democrats won't bow down to our bill, and we won't back up, we're not gonna back down to them. Somebody's caught up in their feelings, so we're just gonna shut the whole thing down because somebody's caught up in their feelings, as if they don't eat too. I'm like, hold on a minute now. Y'all not this will catch up with you somehow. Your grandkids eat snacks too. Your chef not that chefery where y'all are exempt. Everybody eats. Did y'all just not care? Well, if we don't pass this bill, I guess we all gonna be messed up. Could they have not spared at least us the food? I guess as long as they can get their high blood pressure pill and their thyroid medication, they said we good. We don't care about the food. We've got our own stash. We don't shop at their stores. I mean, is that how they really felt? Because I really, really felt some type of way when I got down to that paragraph and it said the FDA was affected. Like they put that at the end as if that was like a minor add-on. Like, oh, by the way, wait, hold on. You should have had this at the top. Because that's one thing, the first thing I did when I got up and, food. We prepare food for the morning. And we were packing food for lunch. It's a change of plans around here, clearly, for other reasons I have. A little bit of change of plans today. I don't know what's going on out there. Let's hold off. Because somebody's going to be mad. I don't know if the buses are showing. I don't know what's going on, but that's too many. That's too many. That's too many workers not doing jobs that are not only efficient to our quality of life, like they go way beyond what we can just think of. Like I said, you're talking about asthma. You're talking about breathing machines. You're talking about our insurance. I don't even know how this works. We haven't started yet. I'm about to find out. I suppose in some way. Well, I don't have any, it's gonna affect everybody. So you guys, look, I don't really have much else to say. I'm gonna try to keep a watch. I hope this shutdown does not last a long time. Please don't let it last long. In just these 8 hours, enough damage has been done. I know it has. That's a lot of damage you can do. 8 hours of non-governing. Oh my gosh. No, regardless of what you all think, we need people to watch. Somebody has to put caps on things. We live in a civilized society for the most part. Of course, you're going to have the uncivilized, but even with the uncivilized, there are rules, protocols, all these things that must be followed for the sake of humanity. If we take that off the table, it just turned to the Wild Wild West. Nobody wins. So, again, in conclusion, I have no idea how it could get that explosive, that bad, to where they just say, F it. It's like somebody just said, well we can all just die. Well, wow. Hello? Hey, y'all need to figure this something out, because the shutdown is the worst thing you can do. But they couldn't pass the bill. They could not even compromise somewhere. They could not make it work. And the Republicans were standing on business of what they thought, and the Democrats were standing on business and wasn't budging. And they just said, shut it all down. Good luck. To the best of luck to you. Okay, so may you all uh, be on guard. All right. Um, this is getting a little bit too close to home with things that we read and we study. And the first thing I'm talking about, the first thing that came to my head was Book of Matthew, chapter 3. I said, boy, if this is not separating the wheat from the chaff, it's reaping season. If the reapers aren't out here reaping, that's what it's saying about Matthew 3:12. He is ready to separate the chaff from the wheat with his winnowing fork. Then he will clean up the threshing area, gathering the wheat into his barn. But gather the wheat into my barn and the chaff burn in an unquenchable fire. So we got angels out here reaping, huh? Well, that's a little more, that's definitely scarier than the government. But in conclusion, the food, I started thinking about pestilence. That was one of the reasons, main reasons we needed our food government. The poison that was put in the food from the pestilence started such epidemics, mass loss of life from infants. Y'all, we're talking about stuff like formula. I'm just giving you all something to keep to go off of for today, because y'all be on here with this. Y'all got babies. Somebody had to govern their milk, their formula. What people were doing was so demonic. People, let's not forget, you all, what people were doing to food. People were opening packages and putting poison in there intentionally. I'm not talking about mistakenly. Intentionally contaminating our food. Why would you do that? Who does that? Well, they had their reasons. Reasons we may never understand. But it sure worked. It worked enough to birth the FDA. It worked that much. It affected that many lives. Not many women are able to breastfeed. Who's putting out the formula? Yo, those are government paid positions. You have to have people that can be trusted, that someone's not contaminating their milk. Well, those people aren't working right now. So yeah, I would feel some type of way if I got to feed a small child. I don't know. And right now, somebody up in there, what God knows what you're doing. No one's checking. No one's to call. No one's policing. I'm suspicious of every delivery. I'm suspicious of any and everybody at this point. I bet I won't be buying anything with a triple check, like you can't seal it back. And let's just save that. Because where there's a will, there's a way. You can open something and reseal it with the blink of an eye. No one's safe. Except for those. Your trust better not be in man. Your trust better be in another entity. Because you are going to be let down. You're going to be disappointed. Your trust better not be in man. You better have a refuge to hide under. You all, I'm sorry. This is the way it is. It didn't bring me any joy at all or satisfaction to hear these things, knowing that people have to suffer. Okay? For people to be hurt. For people to have to make it harder. For people to try to have to live when it's already difficult enough. But the one hope that even those who don't even believe in a God or anything like that, they have no spiritual backbone, They at least got a structure of society. They got the government, by the way, which was put in place by the Most High. He established the government for our own benefits, for our own reasons, so that there's somebody would be watching, somebody policing, knowing ahead of time, y'all need some order. Man can get out of order. Man will just go ham without some structure. I understand the assignment, but right now we don't have anything but one. So know where you stand or know where you kneel, one or the other. But as of today, love your families. Hopefully you are honoring your God. And there's only one. But I'm going to tell you now, I guess the gods are fighting. Okay. They can't decide what's going on. Meanwhile, we got the black horseman from Revelation 6 running rampant through with scales, pestilence. Okay. He out here doing all type of stuff. That's just his job. Can't get mad at him. He just coming through. I think he got a third of the whole earth of food he can just destroy and contaminate, from livestock to our food and water. Okay. I didn't even touch on beverages, because a lot of folks, that water, that's one thing. Where you get your water from? See, that's what I'm saying, people. Don't act like you're not going to be affected. You don't have no well in your backyard. And even then, you can't stop people from coming in and contaminating your well. You just can't stop. These are some things that's not going to happen. You cannot cut yourself off from worldly affairs, and you live here. You are in it, whether you like it or not. And that's for those conscious folks. They swear they not. Yes, you are. You're not making your own water. You're not going down there to some spring and coming. Like, you don't even have the ability to do that. Okay? You drinking water too, even if you don't drink anything but water. Well, somebody got to govern our water. Who y'all think been making sure that the water companies and people as such, see, that's what I'm talking about, on their jobs, governing our water facilities. Somebody better get over there and watch the water tanks. Lord, y'all know them big old water tanks that we all got in our city. Whoever on that job, you better be over there, and you need to be watching our water supply. Do not come to work today. If they don't pay you, I don't know, just from the goodness of your heart, volunteer your services. We all messed up. Mess with the water. Come up out that job you want to without any skin. I bet you start to feel some type of way, because somebody put some acid in the water. Whoever is working the water tanks, tell them people to please come to work and secure the premises before folks start really getting ideas in their head and going out here and doing their biggest, worst thing they can do. The biggest, worst idea that come in their head. Please be at work today and stay there. I'll volunteer. Okay? Look, do you need help? Where's the sign-up sheet? I will volunteer my services. I will work for the free ski and help y'all. Okay? We don't want nobody up here by this water tank. Don't come around the water facilities. That's all it takes, is a dash of this and a dash of that. Next thing you know, we all walking around looking like Freddy Krueger. You all, thank you for your time. I am going to get back over here, follow up, which I don't even know what to follow up on. A shutdown is a shutdown. What part of the shutdown can one not understand? The shut or the down? Okay? But I am going to see what else I can find. I wish you all well. I do. But ultimately, in the end, I suppose where you stand and what you know to be true is going to be your only resource. So, he who has ears, let him hear. And he who has eyes, let him see. This is Beachy, and you all have a blessed day, whatever that may entail. And whatever you have, in all things, give thanks. And that means all.